I love amplifiers, receivers, players, headphones brand Denon. And today I fully tested the Denon PMA 900 HNE, the latest streaming amplifier, and it seems that this 900 Denon is basically the evolution of the next step in the evolution of the old integrated amp Denon PMA 720. And so inside this Denon and on the right side appears a huge block that is responsible for the digital part of this amplifier. In this digital shielded block that is hidden under the cover, there is a digital to analog converter. This is an MC/MM phono stage. There is all the feeling of Heos and other digital gizmos in the center of the amplifier. Inside there is a power amplifier with two powerful capacitors in order to the amplifiers had enough energy to filter the electricity. And on the left side, on a special pedestal, there is a big transformer that fits the entry system with electricity. Many previous Denons of was famous for its rather soft, so loose bass, and many people liked this bass. For example, I was also an adherent of this loose, lingering, fluffy Denon bass for a long time. In this amplifier, Denon applied a new technology. Here installed advanced single push-pull circuit. What is its feature? When the amplifier amplifies the sound, it is very difficult for it to respond to low frequencies because they require a lot of energy, and it is very difficult to respond to mid and high frequencies because they require a lot of accuracy. If we compare the operation of the sound amplifier with the work of a person, then imagine in your left hand you need to take weight 16 kg and do exercise. These turn out to be analog to reproducing the low frequencies on an amplifier. And in your right hand you need to take the finest tool and repair the watch. This is, here you need accuracy, filigree and incredible concentration. Amplifier, it works the same. Bass he pumps with his left hand, and for this he needs a lot of energy, and he needs accuracy for the top well, as it works with the top from the middle, as if with the right hand, where you need very high accuracy, and doing both these things at the same time is incredibly difficult. And Denon here applied new technologies by putting high-speed Darlington transistor and applying a new operation scheme. That is, bass should be fast, powerful, high quality, and high and mid frequencies at the same time should be extremely clear, distinct and audiophilic. Let's see how it affected the sound quality then when I talk about this Denon sound. It's interesting that in appearance this Denon is very similar to my Denons that I used to listen to. I had a 520, I listened to Denon PMA 720, and I had the Denon PMA 5200 series R, R2 and AA. And this Denon very much resembles them. First of all, they have a very similar front panel, thick and milled aluminum, and when you run your hand over it, such a vibration is created, it's like a creak. In the center there is a huge knob for adjusting the volume. The awesome thing turns smoothly, incredibly cool. It's interesting that compared to all previous Denon models, a display windows appeared here, with not bright blue numbers and letters. And firstly, the volume level is displayed here. If you change it, it doesn't matter from what device you change it, with a knob, or from a phone, or with a remote control. And here you will see the change in information, and of course if you switch input, then the display show which input you now selected. On left side of the amplifier is a tone block. Here you can adjust the bass and you can adjust the treble. You can adjust balance, you can turn on the source direct mode in order to completely turn off the tone block and get the clearest sound bypassing the tone block. There is also a button for switching speakers. You can turn on a pair of speakers and a couple of speakers. You can turn them on together or turn them off altogether. So, there is also a little button. This is the MMMC phono stage mode switch. Also, there is a headphone input, and I tested how sounds this Denon with my magnetoplanar headphones that I always use just for such cases. On the back panel there are 4 analog inputs. You can connect vinyl, which is very important. In our time everyone wants vinyl, and therefore you can connect vinyl and select the phono mode MM or MC, and you have 3 other analog inputs, and beyond the digital part follows. In the first, 3 optical input for connecting TV, CD or any other digital source. It is interesting that the digital optical input that is marked as a TV input works in automatic mode. That is, if you think about using Denon as an amplifier for a TV, then turning the TV on, the amplifier will automatically recognize that you turn on the TV, it's turned on and start playing. This is a feature. But in this mode of operation, this is only one optical input, this is marked as TV. There is also one coaxial input, well, for the input there again digital sources. If you don't have the opportunity to connect via optics, then connect using coaxial. And also there is ability to connect it to the internet using a VLAN plug. And the most basic type of connection in my opinion is, of course, is a Wi-Fi antenna, so that the device can be connected to your network without wires. Also from analog, I would like to note that in the device there is a line output and has output for a subwoofer. That is, if bass level is not a note for you, just connect a subwoofer and enjoy a fat, big, powerful bass. There are also 2 pairs of plugs for connected speaker system on the back panel. That is, you can connect either 2 pairs of speakers or 1 pair connect the speakers using bi-wiring. That is, using different pairs of wires. And also on the real panel from digital communication there is an input for connecting a hard drive. I connected my 2 TB hard drive here using USB-A plug, and how they sound I'll tell you a little bit later. And another digital way to connect is Bluetooth. I tell you right away, I tested all the ways to get sound from this amplifier, and Bluetooth I rejected. Firstly, the Denon Bluetooth receiver does not support the aptX or aptX HD or LDIC codecs. Here is just a simple Bluetooth codec, and when you switch from using the Heos application to using Bluetooth, then for me personally the difference is simply dramatically audible. I recommended using Bluetooth only for some kind optional thing. If you want to listen audiobook and it's more convenient for you to send it via Bluetooth, it's okay. But in order to get the maximum sound quality from this Denon, better to use hard drive, streaming service or a high quality external source. The digital to analog converter supports signal decoding up to 24192. It is a high-res format. The device reads FLAC files, the device reads WAV, MP3 and other files. Interesting, when I connected the hard drive to 2 terabytes, Denon did not see it right away. That is, I had to plug it out of the socket a couple of times, and then it was read. If you keep your music collection and use the Q file to split the files on the tracks, Denon the Q file doesn't read. That is, it sees the entire music album in one piece. When you do it on the computer, listen to music from the hard drive, then the computer understands Q files and split the entire album into tracks. Denon does not do this and plays the file in one piece. Principle everything that I had on the hard disk, DSD files, WAV and FLAC and MP3 files, the device read and read quite well. Hard disk navigation through Heos, using the phone or a tablet, and there you can choose how you navigate, view by albums, or by files, or by artist, or by folders. Well, choose according to your taste. I used Tidal through Heos, and as usual Heos is not very convenient for Tidal, but in principle after several attempts I understood how it works and in principle no problems arose. Tidal works quickly but a little differently than in the original app. Streaming services supported by Denon, this is Tidal, Spotify, Deezer, this is Tunnel In and Internet Radio. In general, there is a whole bunch of everything. Please see the link in the description. Power of 900 Denons is 50 watts at 8 ohms per channel. It's interesting that at 4 ohms it's already produced 85 watts per channel, and according to Denon, this amplifier easily works with acoustic whose impedance is only 4 ohms. Today I ruthlessly drove this Denon with floor, freeway Focal Kanta N2, which not quite suitable for this amplifier, because Kanta is not light acoustic, it is large, and it is three-way. And you know what's interesting? I didn't notice at all that it was difficult for this Denon. I got the impression that the 900 Denon pumped these big floor standards with easy and showed me everything what I really wanted to get from it. And so, my friend, the sweeping, rockling, loose, lingering Denon bass has gone somewhere in the past with this new Denon. And the bass is fast, clear, superbly audibly. That is, when you listen to music, you can clearly hear how the drums work, you clearly hear how the bass section works, you clearly hear the voice range, and you hear fantastic metal cymbals. It's just such a clear, distinct metallicity. I would say not possible to hear similar level from amplifiers of this price segment. But here the cymbals are real metal that you hear, and which you not only hear, you even feel this metal. It scatters around the room with such splashes of overtones, with such sparks that a real involvement in listening to musical composition is being created. The voice range, in my opinion, is a little harsh. Not exactly harsh, so much so that it causes discomfort. No, a little bit harsh. That is, you hear a clear, distinct voice, ranging metallic up, fast bass, body. This is a really cool sound that like me today. I would like to say that this device play well only in some kind of genre. But in fact, I can't say that. I played rock, metal, hip-hop. Today I listen to jazz, electronic music, pop and instrumental music. And all the genres listed, he played great. And the only complaint is he suck playing shitty records. If you turn on some records from the distant 70s, 80s, which itself it's recorded badly by itself. But my friend, this device really struck me. This neat little display looked awesome on this large and milled aluminum panel. It's something fresh on this old school vintage design. I want to say a few more words about spatial reproduction. I talked about the tone balance and how Denon sounds with great acoustics. And now I want to add a few words about how I hear space. The depth of the stage is about 1.5 to 2 meters. In some composition 2.5 meters. And when I listen to these distorts, in principle the stage parted very significantly. I would say that it even opens up to infinity. You can clearly hear the positioning of the musicians, to the right, to the left of the vocalist. In some cases you can hear the separation of the stage depth, but this separation is not pronounced. That is, you can't hear that the musicians are at really different distances from each other. Yes, you can hear that the piano is playing on the left. You can hear that the guitarist is playing on the right. Yes, you can hear that the vocalist is in the center and the drummer is in the background. But in principle, the space between the musicians is not felt. That is, the images of the musicians are quite as natural as it should be, because that unnatural images of musician is when you listen to music and you see how they are cut out by a laser, and this is buzzing in your ears. It just kills any desire in you to listen to music for a long time. But these Denon draft soft, smooth images of musicians you hear to the left and to the right, and light separation in depth without a clear distance. As I promised, I will tell you how the Denon plays with headphones. I used my HIFI MAN H4XX drop magnetic planars, connected with large headphone plug. I wonder that when you turn it on headphones into the headphone jack on the front panel, then the speakers do not automatically turn it off. You need to turn them off manually using the speakers button on the front panel. I can say what the sound was amazing but something. It is good quality music. You can hear from the bass to the very top clearly, evenly, powerfully. You can hear how the musicians are positioned in space, someone to the left, someone to the right. But in principle, to say that this amplifier is some kind of headphone high-end, no, just a good quality amplifier for good headphones at a price from 150 to 200 euros. Connected something more expensive here does not make any sense. Well, my friend, I told you about this Denon all as new. I want to say the premium hi-fi channel is developing and to improve the quality of the pictures and sound and light. I need to constantly update the equipment. Under the video you can find the thank you button, and all thanks, all donations are sent straight to the purchase of new equipment. Thank you all. See you in new video.